Hello, hello, hello. Mary Kay Smooth and Tanisha Tight here. And you'll know that I can't resist it because I had to watch out for my dogs and my cat last night. You know that was hysterical. I couldn't believe he said that on international TV. But he did, and it was funny. And I'm sorry for my friends that are not with Kamala. I'm sorry because I know I was really bad last night on Facebook, but I couldn't help it. I She could have got him a little bit better, but she got him good enough. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. So I apologize in advance for the second one. And all I can say is it's a Kamala 9 coming. Get ready. Um, so I have to give a shout out to we got another one in the retinol pool, and her name is Vanessa Baldwin Smith. So sooner or later, we're going to get her to come on and show her before and after too. And we're going to guide her through the retinization process. So I'm happy that Vanessa came to join me in the retinol pool, and I'm ready to do my thing here. Let me get. I got everything here, so let me get that going. And here's my little cleanser. Um, so here we go. Oops, it's dripping everywhere. Well, not dripping, but it's kind of stringy. That's what it is. Okay. Um, I did get to spend some time with Miss Vanessa before I came home for the debate. I hadn't seen her in a little while. And my little Vanessa, I'm so proud of her. Vanessa is, I told you a little about it the other day, but she's like 10 years younger than me. And me and Lori drove her crazy trying to get her to complete some things she needed to keep her to get her going. And one of them was getting her driver's license, which she did, and she drives more than I do. And her degree, and then she went and got 2 masters after that. So I am very proud of her, and she does check on the old girl, every now and then. So I was happy to see her. We went out to have I don't know, it was dinner. It was dinner. It was after 4, it was 4:30, so it was dinner. We went to a diner in Maplewood and had dinner, and then we did some tech stuff because I needed to. She has a nonprofit called the Noonday, where she it's kind of a well-rounded help group that's going to do take serve children in the community. In our community, well, in most of the urbans, you have a shortfall for some of the kids where they don't get um, everything that they should get at home. Sometimes it's dysfunctional. Sometimes it's just everybody's working and not really having time. But children need all they can get. When I grew up, the village raised the child. So if your mother wasn't there, somebody's mother was there, and they was going to snatch you up just like you were their kid, um, and then get to your mother, and then your mother would tear you up too. So it's different for kids now. because parents take offense. Some parents take offense to you disciplining their child. And I mean, where you not beat them or anything, but where you get to them and let them know that what they did wasn't okay. And part of that is why, kids gravitate to discipline, but parents don't always want to do it. I was from a time when my mother whooped our ass. I'm just being honest. And you know what? I'll tell you the truth. My mother she wasn't baby Jane or anything, or mommy dearest. She wasn't any of that, but she did tighten up. And I was the kid that would get the grandmothers in by going, Mary, don't whoop Jesus. You had to have some game now, because my mother would be like, stay still and let me. Now, a kid is not going to stand still and say, just whoop me. We'd be all over that bedroom. I was ready to run before she got the belt. So, and then I knew how to get my grandmother's hearts open. Like I said, that Mary, don't whoop Jesus thing. Ooh, child, that worked like a dream. Because they would come in there, Evelyn, don't whoop that baby. But I know my mother, it was the right thing to do when we weren't listening. You have to, the kids, you can't be their friend. You really can't. You can't be their friend. Because if you're their friend, honey, they're gonna try you, and then you're gonna want to commit murder, because they won't have respect. They'll treat you like they treat their friends, and sometimes they don't have no respect. They don't know respect because you haven't taught them any. So you can't be their friend. You got to be the senior person in charge, because if you don't, like I said, they'll make you want to go to jail. And there was other things that my mother, my Aunt Mary, that's my mother's sister, my father's mother, we called her Mama, and my Aunt Sis. But my Aunt Sis didn't get into discipline because she didn't have to. She didn't have any kids. We were all, I mean, she lived in my grandmother and grandfather's house. She had her room, and I didn't really mess with her room. We had some people that did. Now my sister went in there. She had a dog, a little cocker spaniel named Bambi. And Bambi, Sis had Bambi spoiled. Bambi didn't come out of Sis's room unless Sis brought her out, for the walk. But Bambi would snap you, and there was a friendly dog in the house named Jigs, and Jigs was my dog. I love Jigs, and we had we had a German Shepherd named Lassie. That was my cousin Pat's dog. She loved her. She used to call her Meanie Mo Poor Lover in French. But yeah, Sis, I ain't mess around in Sis's room. Sis was famous for jacking you up. Sis always had candy and stuff, and my grandmother, I I could get candy from my grandmother, so that's what I did. I didn't mess around in Sis's room because I was scared of the dog. And then my aunt Sis had the jacked up looking feet like that from wearing high. Well, they had spike heels, um, with a more narrower pointed toe than spike heels are now. And my aunt would say that Rawhead and Bloody Bones got her foot. I know you're all going, what the hell is a Rawhead and Bloody Bones? It's a monster she created. And I was scared of scary movies, so she didn't have to mess with me much. And one time, Sis used to have chiclets on her. She had a big crystal glass tray on her dresser that had um her perfume and stuff on it, and she always had loose chiclets. That's a gum. That's like the little square gums you see now, but it was a brand called Chiclets. And somebody was eating the chiclets. Wasn't me. So I'm so glad I wasn't that girl. I would ask for candy from my grandmother. I didn't have to take nobody's candy. And so sis put Phenomint gum. I don't know if you guys know what Phenomint gum is. Phenomint gum was a for diarrhea. I mean, well, for constipation. And Phenomint gum looked just like chiclets. It didn't taste like chiclets, but it looked like chiclets. So sis put the Phenomint gum in place of the chiclets. And the guilty party had diarrhea. And thank the Lord it was not me and my sister. So sis was a booby trap. That's why I ain't mess with her like that. I love my aunt sis. Our relationship was different. And it got better as I got older, actually, because I was so scared I didn't go in her room. Even if she asked me and everybody was in there, I probably was with my grandmother because I was like I said, Bambi, the booby trap. She would put her foot on me and I would damn near faint because Rawhead and Bloody Bones had touched her foot. I was like the kid that you get the dead bird and put it on me and I would faint. So I did not do that. But there were other wonderful things. My aunt Mary, when we went, I used to go to her house to get my hair braided because if Aunt Mary braided my hair, not a BB shot, she braided your hair so tight, or you had to, nothing would jump out. So I only had to get my hair done until I saw her again the next weekend. But Aunt Mary, when she cooked dinner, she would cook stuff that I didn't like. I didn't like green peas. And I would sit there damn near half the night, y'all. And they be cold, and she'd tell me, "You're gonna eat them peas." And oh my Lord. I would be sitting there, sitting there, sitting there, and then she would say, "You might as well just swallow them." Oh my God. I thought I was gonna gag. And then I had to take castor oil. She made you take, me and Maurice had to take castor oil. God, oh Lord. But really, in real, I needed castor oil because I was the one that always got the constipation. That's why I know what Phenomint gum is. Um, if we had a holiday, if we had Thanksgiving, I know I'm sick that night. I'm sick that night. So my mother, I have her up part of the night. But I'm happy for those. I look at that and I laugh. I look at Rawhead and Bloody Bones and I laugh. Because I didn't get the Phenomint gum. I laugh. It was disciplined. They were the adults and we were the kids and we had our place and we kept staying in it. And my mother, she did everything to try to give us, like, we were, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, um, Santa Claus. She went berserk on those holidays. My mother, she tried to give us everything. We would be in the store on Christmas Eve trying to close that joker. My mother would, my father, when we moved to Springfield, only one Christmas I got jacked up, y'all. I got jacked up. Oh, Springfield. Springfield, remember I told you Springfield was 95% Jewish. So in the kindergarten, when I went to kindergarten, really first grade was when it really came out. One of the Jewish kids told me that there wasn't no Santa Claus, and during recess, your girl was out there wailing on that joker. And so the teacher asked us what was we fighting for, and we told her that he told me there was no Santa Claus. And Miss Golden was Jewish too, and she told me there was no Santa Claus. Now I'm beat down. I'm beat down because that Santa Claus is big for me. As the first grader, 6 years old. And my mother and father was throwing down. I mean, we getting Susie Homemaker, we getting Creepy Crawler Machine, we getting all of these things for Christmas. And so when I go home, of course they call my mother and them. And then when I get home, my mother and them say, well, if there's no Santa Claus, then, you ain't getting nothing for Christmas. Now I'm done. And we go down south to my mother's parents' house, South Carolina, for Christmas. And all your girl got for Christmas was a Porky Pig puppet that said, when you pulled the string, it said, "That's all, folks." And my sister, she played that thing and played it and laughed and laughed and laughed. Oh my God, I was devastated in South Carolina with one toy. I was used to getting almost everything that the store had that I wanted. I know y'all looking at me like she crazy. It was devastating. A whole Christmas holiday, not one other thing, just a puppet that I couldn't stand to listen to. And so we came back to New Jersey. I'm sad still. I mean, I was a sad little kid. And my father told me to go into the den and get something he wanted. And when I got in the den, all my toys was there. I got a new bike and everything. Oh my God. Santa Claus came back. And Santa Claus was actually, I found out later, my Uncle Robert. He lived around the corner. Him and Aunt Kathy and Caprice and Robin lived around the corner. And he saved the day for me. And my parents, you see, they worked hard to reconstruct what was torn down. Yeah, how you like that? They reconstructed the belief in Santa Claus in their baby girl. And woo, at first grade, it would have been a long time. I mean, by the time I got to the fifth and sixth grade, when I went to middle school, I knew there wasn't, but I still, now they giving me, it's the gifts from mommy and daddy. But if I had to miss out from first grade on to fifth grade, I don't think I would have been a happy kid during the Christmas holiday time. I know y'all saying she is bugging out, but I'm just telling you how my parents did it. My mother didn't have a Christmas like she tried to give us. My grandfather wasn't that fella. He was not, he didn't think girls should go to college. That's why I understand this Kamala thing. My mother had to escape, kind of. She played basketball and did good in her grades so she could get a scholarship to go away to college. But my grandfather, he didn't want her to go to college. And my grandmother helped her financially, and he told her she had to leave. When my mother left to go to college, my grandmother came to New York and was with my Uncle Buster until mommy ended up getting married and she never went back to live in South Carolina. She came to live in New Jersey. So I don't know, men, if you can't understand, it's kind of like that color purple stuff um was going on for real. That was real. My mother's wasn't, I mean, my grandfather didn't sell her to nobody or anything like that, because mommy was a and Mary was more calm and weaker spirited than my mother. Was very high spirited, and they had other things going on because my grandfather, his father was white, and my great grandmother was a servant at the house. I don't know, I don't think she was born, I think she was born after slavery, but um they were workers at his house, Eugene Bichette. And if you go to the Ellery, South Carolina area, there's the Bichette Electric Company that is his white family. He had four white children and four black children, and Mr. Bichette didn't marry anybody. But I do believe those the white kids were able to take on his name later. So my mother and Aunt Mary, when they walked through the black neighborhood, they had to fight. And when they walked through the white neighborhood, they had to fight. So, and Mary used to get, if mommy wasn't with her, she would get beat up. But mommy was going, you was going to get your ass kicked. You mess with my mother? She wasn't that girl. So that's why, that's why the women's rights issue is so important to me, because the generation of women that are my mother's age, they were in suffrage. They couldn't get a job that would pay them enough to break out on their own. Now my mother went to college and she met my father there and married. She married out of the suffrage. She didn't come to the North by herself and get a job, because that wasn't gonna do it. She would have had to stay with somebody and live with them, and that wasn't really working because she still couldn't make enough money to make people want to let you stay with them. Okay, so mommy married, and she went to college and married, and then her and daddy both were at college, college graduates. On my father's side, I am what we have. How many? We have on my grandfather's side, on my father's side, his mother was college educated. My grandfather was college educated. My father's generation was college educated. That's four. That's, wait a minute. Um, Grandma Dolly, Reverend, Daddy, me. That's four. Then the 19 grandchildren have children that are college educated, which my sister has a son, and several of the cousins have college educated kids. That's five. And then those kids have kids that are college educated as well. And that's six generations of Johnsons that are college educated from my father's side. So mommy, she came to a family that my grandfather and my grandmother believed in strong women. We saw them. Daisy Bates from the what is that? The Arkansas Five came to the church. I got pictures of her with my grandfather upstairs. My sister and my cousin Pat went to the Baptist Ministers Convention fundraising stuff, and Coretta Scott King. We met people. through my grandfather. He was one of the original ministers involved in the Southern Christian leadership, friends with Martin Luther King Sr. and Jr. At that time, Black people were Republicans until Kennedy time. And me and Sharon was right there with the Kennedy because he was a QT. Um, so my father's family, we were able to have a really diverse childhood, meeting different people, politicians, college presidents, the HBCU presidents, ministers. My aunt Sis had her own concert at the Carnegie Hall. She was a contralto, my father's sister, and they were all teachers. They did 250 years of service, the husbands and the wives, my uncles and my aunts in Newark. And my grandfather did 50 years at Metropolitan Baptist Church here in Newark. So we had an interesting situation going. Okay, so my eyes is good, but I need to put on my thing, so I'm gonna take my eyes off. Ooh, I mean, I have not been sleeping good. Y'all know I've been doing things. I haven't been right since the Olympics, and so here we go. I'm gonna get myself ready for the retinol. Next time I do the retinol, I'm probably gonna have Vanessa on, maybe Friday, so she could get with it. Cause she can't. She can only do it once a week in the first. You remember you went through it with me, to the Mary Kay retinization process. It takes 9 weeks to get to where you could do it 3 to 5 times a week, but I only do it 3 times. Mix, 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 and now I'm here. Okay, here we go. And then I swipe down the excess on my neck to keep the what you call that, the turkey neck away. And I am still doing good, guys. And people keep complimenting me on my glasses. I laugh because they don't. Well, at least they're telling me as things is looking good. Because I know that it's not the glasses and it's actually my Mary Kay. Okay, so I'm good for today. It was a wonderful time spending with you guys. And I'll apologize again to any of my friends that are Trumpers. I'm just not one. I can't help it. I love you all anyway. Alrighty. So I'll see